Do you remember Antiques Roadshow, the beloved PBS series where experts revealed the hidden value of America's attic treasures? Ever wondered what happened to the cast of Antiques Roadshow? Where did they go, and why some vanished from our screens? Join us as we reveal the personal hardships these familiar faces endured. This is their untold story. Number 15. Wendell Garrett. Few experts embodied the gentle scholarship of Antiques Roadshow quite like Wendell Garrett. With his soft voice and poetic descriptions of American history, he transformed furniture appraisals into profound connections with our shared past. His white hair and bow ties became as recognizable as his encyclopedic knowledge of Americana. Garrett's path to television was unlikely. A scholarly historian and museum curator, he served as editor of the magazine Antiques for decades before reluctantly agreeing to appear on camera. His hesitation vanished when he realized the program's potential for public education. Behind his calm demeanor lay a life marked by significant health challenges. Garrett had long managed the effects of polio, which he contracted as a young man. The disease had left him with mobility limitations that became more pronounced with age, though he rarely drew attention to his condition. As filming days grew longer and traveled more frequently, the physical toll mounted silently. In 2000, Garrett suffered a serious stroke that fundamentally changed his ability to continue regular appearances. The event left this eloquent communicator struggling with speech. Yet with characteristic determination, he underwent extensive therapy and eventually returned to the show for limited appearances. Wendell Garrett passed away in 2012 at age 83, leaving behind a legacy of scholarship and public education that extended far beyond television. The Antiques Roadshow team paid tribute to him as not just an expert appraiser, but as the program's intellectual heart. Number 14. Noel Barrett. Noel Barrett brought childlike wonder to his toy appraisals, his eyes lighting up with the same excitement viewers might feel discovering forgotten treasures in their own attics. As a nationally recognized authority on antique toys and a veteran auctioneer, his playful approach belied a serious knowledge of manufacturing techniques, materials, and market trends spanning 2 centuries of childhood history. Barrett's segments stood out for their emotional resonance. When examining a worn teddy bear or tin wind-up toy, he honored both the object's financial worth and its sentimental significance, creating moments of connection that transcended typical appraisals. Behind this joyful exterior, Barrett had experienced profound personal loss. In 2002, his wife of many years passed away after a lengthy illness, leaving him adrift both emotionally and professionally. They had been partners in both life and business, her organizational skills complementing his expertise and public persona in ways that had made their auction house successful. Rather than step back from public life, Barrett made the courageous decision to lean into his television role, finding that sharing his passion for toys provided both distraction from grief and connection to a supportive community. Colleagues noticed him taking on more roadshow appearances during this period, his work becoming a form of therapy that provided structure and purpose during a difficult transition. The healing process wasn't linear. Barrett later acknowledged struggling with depression that sometimes made even getting to filming locations an enormous challenge. Yet, the obligation to appear pulled him forward when little else could. Number 13. Leg Keno. The antiques world was stunned when Lee Keno, one half of the show's beloved twin experts, faced a legal crisis that threatened everything he had built. His boyish enthusiasm and encyclopedic knowledge of American furniture had made him an instant fan favorite, his excitement palpable whenever he discovered a hidden masterpiece. For nearly 2 decades, viewers welcomed Lee into their homes, marveling at how the small-town boy from upstate New York had become one of the country's foremost authorities on American antiques. Alongside his identical twin brother Leslie, Lee brought an infectious energy to every appraisal, making colonial furniture feel as exciting as buried treasure. But in 2018, the antiques community was rocked by news that seemed impossible to reconcile with the man they thought they knew. Lee faced federal charges for creating false provenance documents for a piece of furniture, a shocking development for someone whose reputation was built on authenticity and trust. The legal troubles stem from a single lapse in judgment in a career spanning decades of impeccable work. The court ordered him to pay a substantial fine, but the damage to his reputation cut deeper than any financial penalty. For a time, he stepped back from the spotlight, focusing on rebuilding both his business and his standing in the antiques community. The ordeal forced him to reckon with the pressures of being both a dealer and a celebrity appraiser. Number 12. Christopher Jussel. When Antiques Roadshow first came to American television in 1997, it was Christopher Jussel who guided viewers through this new world of hidden treasures and family heirlooms. As the show's first host, his distinguished manner and genuine curiosity set the tone for what would become a cultural phenomenon. Jussel wasn't just a television personality. His expertise in 18th century English furniture made him the perfect bridge between the specialized knowledge of appraisers and the curiosity of the general public. For 3 seasons, he traveled the country as the face of the program, but the punishing schedule began to take its toll. The constant flights, long filming days, and pressure of being the show's anchor point gradually wore him down. What viewers didn't see was a man increasingly exhausted by the very opportunity that had brought him national recognition. In 1999, Jussel made the difficult decision to step away from the hosting role, passing the baton to Dan Elias. His departure came as a surprise to many viewers who had come to trust his steady presence. But for Jussel, it was a necessary step to preserve both his health and his primary career as a dealer and consultant. Number 11. Mark Wahlberg. When Mark Wahlberg took over hosting duties in 2006, he faced a daunting challenge. He wasn't an antiques expert. Unlike his predecessors, he couldn't casually reference Chippendale characteristics or distinguish Federal from Empire period furniture. But what he brought instead turned out to be exactly what the show needed. Wahlberg's approach resonated with viewers because he asked the questions they would have asked. His warm personality and self-deprecating humor made complex information accessible, while his sincere interest in learning made experts eager to share their knowledge. He became our proxy at the appraisal table, expressing the same amazement we felt at home when a garage sale find turned out to be worth thousands. Behind the scenes, however, Wahlberg was juggling multiple shows and a punishing travel schedule. In addition to Antiques Roadshow, he hosted game shows, reality programs, and special events. The physical toll of this pace was considerable, with Wahlberg later admitting he sometimes couldn't remember which city he was in when he woke up in hotel room. The strain on his family life became increasingly difficult to justify. With young children at home in California and filming commitments scattered across the country, Wahlberg found himself missing important milestones. Each successful season paradoxically meant more time away from the people who mattered most. After 8 seasons guiding viewers through the world of antiques, Wahlberg made the difficult decision to focus on projects closer to home. His departure in 2013 wasn't announced with fanfare. Number 9. David Rago. David Rago's journey from high school dropout to nationally recognized pottery expert embodied the American dream that Antiques Roadshow often celebrated. His scrappy beginnings as a teenage picker in New Jersey flea markets evolved into expertise that museums and collectors came to rely upon, particularly for arts and crafts, pottery, and Tiffany glass. On camera, Rago brought an accessible enthusiasm to his appraisals, free from pretension despite his status as one of the country's top dealers in his field. His segments demystified the often intimidating world of art pottery, with straightforward explanations that connected viewers to the artist's original intentions and techniques. What the cameras didn't capture was the immense pressure Rago faced as his business expanded in tandem with his television exposure. His auction house grew rapidly, requiring constant attention even as demand for his appearances and expertise increased. The balance became increasingly precarious, with Rago often working through the night after filming to keep his business operations on track. In 2009, personal tragedy struck when his longtime partner and business associate, Suzanne Peral, was diagnosed with a serious illness. While continuing his professional obligations, Rago became her primary caregiver, a role that took precedence over television appearances and often even business concerns. The strain of maintaining public composure while facing private heartbreak took an inevitable toll. Rago made the difficult decision to reduce his television commitments, appearing only when filming locations were close to home or when his expertise was specifically requested. His auction business required difficult adaptation as well, with Rago delegating responsibilities he had previously handled personally. Number 8. Nico Lowry. With his flamboyant mustache and colorful suits, Nicholas Lowry brought rock star energy to poster appraisals. His theatrical delivery made vintage advertising come alive with history lessons delivered with flair. But his television persona created complications as he balanced his role as president of Swan Auction Galleries. The extroverted character that worked on camera sometimes clashed with running a major auction house, confusing clients who expected different levels of flamboyance. Constant travel between filming and international buying trips created a punishing schedule with no personal time. Lowry revealed he sometimes went months without a day off, as both careers consumed every hour. By 2015, exhaustion became impossible to ignore. He developed stress-related health issues that forced him to reevaluate priorities. While never leaving the show completely, he became more selective about appearances, prioritizing his health and the auction house representing his family's legacy. Number 7. John Hayes. John Hayes embodied the distinguished expert that gave Antiques Roadshow authority. As deputy chairman of Christie's, he brought institutional gravitas, while his delight in craftsmanship made him accessible. He could tell America's story through furniture, distinguishing genuine pieces from reproductions, a valuable skill when such distinctions meant differences of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Behind his composed exterior, Hayes faced increasing health challenges. In 2013, he began experiencing troubling symptoms that went undiagnosed for months. Eventually, he received a diagnosis of a neurological condition affecting his mobility and potentially the cognitive skills defining his career. Devastating news for someone whose identity was intertwined with expertise and precision. Number 6. Gloria Lieberman. Gloria Lieberman brought rare perspective as a female pioneer in the male-dominated jewelry field. Her elegant presence made her a role model, while her warm approach made complex information accessible. As director of fine jewelry at Skinner Auction House, she built her reputation through decades of scholarly research. Her appraisals were masterclasses in connoisseurship delivered with genuine respect. The physical demands proved particularly challenging. Unlike experts evaluating furniture from a distance, jewelry appraisers needed perfect lighting and uncomfortable postures to examine tiny details. As she entered her 70s, long days hunched over loops created increasing discomfort. In 2008, Lieberman developed serious back and neck problems directly related to her work. Doctors warned that continuing without changes would likely cause permanent damage, an existential threat for someone whose career depended on handling delicate objects. Number 5. Karen Keene. Karen Keene's warm presence and knowledge of American folk art made her segments feel like conversations with a well-informed friend. As CEO of Skinner Auction House, she brought executive-level expertise while making vernacular art accessible. Her unconventional journey through apprenticeship gave insights into both academic and commercial aspects of antiques. This dual perspective proved valuable when explaining why humble objects carried significant cultural value. Viewers didn't see her complex responsibilities guiding Skinner through the auction industry's digital transformation while meeting expectations from her television profile. In 2016, personal challenges arose when her partner was diagnosed with serious illness. While maintaining her leadership role and television commitments, she became a primary caregiver, often taking red-eye flights to avoid missing a day at the office or hospital. Number 4. Betty Krulik. Betty Krulik brought quiet authority to fine art appraisals. As former head of Christie's American Art Department, her credentials were impeccable. Yet her gentle approach made technical discussions accessible. Her strength lay in thoughtful analysis and genuine concern for education rather than just evaluation. This created memorable discoveries when helping owners understand paintings hanging unrecognized in family homes for generations. Behind her composed demeanor, Krulik navigated significant market changes influenced by the show's popularity. The democratization of appraisal information disrupted traditional business models as clients arrived with television-derived expectations misaligned with market realities. In 2010, she left auction house security to establish her own advisory firm. The transition meant financial uncertainty, yet offered greater flexibility for both roadshow commitments and evolving client services. Number 3. Kevin Zavian. Kevin Zavian brought youthful energy and technology to jewelry appraisals. As a second-generation jeweler from Philadelphia, he combined formal training with practical experience, explaining both technical specifications and real-world values. What viewers couldn't see was his struggle with progressive hearing loss that threatened his work. Beginning around 2012, he had increasing difficulty distinguishing words in noisy filming environments, particularly challenging for someone needing to hear owners' family histories. Rather than withdraw, Xavier addressed his hearing loss openly, working with production to adapt filming and eventually using hearing aids on camera, showing remarkable courage in an industry reluctant to acknowledge physical limitations. Number 2. Arlie Solka. Arlie Solka brought scholarly precision and enthusiasm to her appraisals of art, glass, and lamps, especially Tiffany pieces. Her ability to distinguish authentic Tiffany from quality reproductions proved invaluable in a field plagued by misattributions. As owner of Lillian Nassau, LLC, she had unparalleled access to archival records that allowed her to make authoritative determinations that sometimes dramatically changed owners' understanding of family treasures. Her television visibility created unexpected complications as demands on her expertise grew beyond the controlled filming environment. Collectors and auction houses increasingly sought her authentication services, sometimes placing her in difficult positions when her conclusions affected significant financial interests. By 2014, the pressure became overwhelming. Working 7 days a week between television, gallery operations, and authentication requests, Solka developed chronic insomnia and anxiety despite her calm exterior. She eventually scaled back her roadshow appearances to focus on her core business and establish healthier boundaries. Number 1. Nancy Druckmann. Nancy Druckmann transformed folk art appraisals into celebrations of creativity and cultural expression. As head of Sotheby's American Folk Art Department, she emphasized emotional and historical significance beyond market values. Her gift lay in contextualizing objects within their communities. When examining quilts or painted furniture, she illuminated not just craftsmanship but social conditions and cultural traditions, highlighting contributions from women in rural communities often overlooked by traditional art history. Viewers couldn't see her struggle balancing television and institutional responsibilities during the auction industry's digital transformation. She found herself reimagining decades of established practices while maintaining scholarly standards. The pressure created a punishing schedule that by 2013 showed signs of exhaustion she concealed from cameras and clients. A health scare in 2015 during filming forced a reckoning when doctors advised reducing stress immediately or facing serious consequences, requiring difficult decisions about priorities that had all seemed non-negotiable.